I'm so excited to be here, guys. Welcome to the Golf Podcast Live. I'm your host, Raphael, along with Michael. This is season 4, episode 115. For the third time, we've got Mr. John Cook, PGA Tour winner, multiple winner on the Champions Tour as well, and with NBC Golf Channel. Welcome to the show.
Always good to be with you guys. I always enjoy it. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Great to see you again.
Absolutely. Anytime. I love talking golf with you all. You're so knowledgeable, and I appreciate it.
You're making us flex. Keep going.
Just before we got on, we talked a little bit about Tommy Gainey and what he's accomplished. Obviously, everybody knows him, possibly, if you've been following golf for a number of years, the big break, and then going on to the Corn Ferry Tour, and then going on to the PGA, and now the Champions Tour, 5-time qualifier this year, got in 4 times, started over at the Rogers in Canada. What an unbelievable blue-collar story, a grinder, completely unorthodox swing. Tell us about that great interview and what you experienced this weekend with Tommy Gainey.
Yeah, thank you. Always been a fan of Tommy, just from Big Break. Everybody used to watch the Big Break. My gosh,
It's natural.
He was legend on that show, and just kind of what he's battled through. Like you said, he's played all kinds of mini tours, and he didn't go to a big school. I think it was Coastal Carolina Tech or something, which was crazy. And but he kept fighting. He kept trying to get to the big tour. He played Corn Ferry. He did win a tournament at Sea Island on the PGA Tour. So he once he gets there, he kind of knows what to do. And like I said in my interview, I started with you're decisive. You've got attitude. You play with aggressiveness, and that's who he is. And that's when he went into qualifying. Like you said, he Monday qualified 4 times. You gotta have some stink in you to do that. That is not easy to do. No. And that's kind of how he plays golf, and I appreciate it so much and respect it. And he kind of went into the battles that he's had and how he's had to scrap for everything. And I get that, 100% get that. So it was great to see him win, hitting great shots down the stretch. The tee shot he hit at 18 was the longest of the day. He hit wedge in there. Everybody else is hitting 5 irons in there. So, and then he caps it off with a birdie. No better way to finish it out.
Yeah. No, absolutely. There's no handouts in golf, especially in golf. He's scrapped his way through life and his golf career, and it's you couldn't ask for a better story.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was one of those storybook finishes. Like you said, nothing's given to you in this game, especially at this level. Winning is hard. It's hard on any single level to finish it out like the way he did. A lot of guys have not finished it out this year, and he did it in great fashion.
Well, he gets exempt status, right? Exempt status right now. I think the only thing I usually would agree with when it comes to Brandel Chambly would be that his swing does look like he's trying to kill a rattlesnake with a garden hose.
He owns it. He owns it, though. Jim Furyk owned it to, almost Hall of Fame status. He owned his own golf swing. It's not dissimilar. So it doesn't matter how you swing the club. It's where that club face is when you hit the ball and what you do with it after that.
Yeah. Well, that's true. There's some great comparisons of all these golf swings from Tiger, Jack, Arnie, and their impact positions all the same.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You just get that club face square and hold that golf ball on the face, and then you're in control of it. He seemed really in control of his golf ball yesterday.
Yeah,
Mike, that brings me to the point that can you imagine Gainey and Woods paired together at an event next year? Because it is possible.
Why not be Hualalai first week of the year? How great would that be?
Oh, well, can you imagine when Tiger, because I'm fully anticipating he's going to want to tee it up out there. It's going to bring the Champions Tour to probably the highest viewership it's ever had, and hopefully explodes the Champions Tour to where it should be, because I feel it's underattended for the level of golfers that are out there. there's a lot of room, and Tiger could be that boost that it needs.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have to play every week. I'm
No.
getting the sense that he would like to compete again if his body is healthy enough and he can prepare the way that he likes to prepare. If he played 4, 5, 6, 8 events, that's plenty. He doesn't have to play them all. I know that he does miss his old buddies out there. Be a good chance to get caught up with some guys that he hasn't seen in a long time. We know what he can do. I know, what he wants to do, and then he wants to win a U.S. Senior Open. So he's won every USGA event that you could possibly win. I know that's kind of on his docket right now. So just hope he gets the opportunity to get his body good to where he can compete. I know he doesn't want to take a cart. I say take a cart, drive it up to the front of the green if you want to.
Sure.
It's okay. Just want
absolutely.
to be out and visible and play.
Yeah. Drive it across the green like Trump
Whatever
does.
you want to do.
Go for it.
Tiger rules. That's it.
Yeah.
John, before we jump on a little bit of Ryder Cup talk, because I think there's a lot of subjects that we could talk about, but I think Ryder Cup's fresh on our mind still. There's a lot of things that we could bring up and talk about. But in retrospect, the Champions Tour this year was incredible. Any standout players or moments or tournaments that you could think of right now that you'd like to highlight?
I think, what we just saw with Tommy Gainey winning, I thought that was a great story. Early on, Justin Leonard won his first, and, there's a name that's won majors and won players and, X number of tournaments, one of the great players, that we've seen in our era. But really what stands out to me, obviously, Miguel Angel Jimenez has had an incredible year. 4 wins after not winning in, over a couple of years. Another one was Angel Cabrera, winning 3 times in 2 majors in a matter of 6 days. I thought was a very interesting story. He was away from the game for a few years. How he spent his time, trying to get back. Will he ever get back again to, the winning ways? And we just, were reminded on how great Angel Cabrera was. He's a playoff loss from having 3 majors.
Yeah.
So, I think that was a very big story. And another one was, no U.S. player won a senior major this year. I thought that's the first time in history of the Champs Tour that had happened. So, there's some guys coming out that, maybe can put an end to that. Stuart Sink played awfully nicely.
That's
right. Sundays, he kind of would always, trip up a little bit on Sunday to, not get that win. So there was some great stories, but Jimenez, I think Cabrera, Justin Leonard winning early, and then also last week with Tommy Gainey.
Well, I loved the Ryder Cup this year. I think it was very exciting. There was some controversial behavior.
Just a little
obviously, picks are always controversial as well. Would have loved to seen you out there, certainly, as an analyst or on the team in some shape or form. I think you deserve it. But what did you think about the crowd behavior and how each team reacted to it separately? Obviously, emotions are flaring. It's a big event.
Yeah.
But your thoughts on some of the things that did happen that were not so great?
Yeah, it was unfortunate. It's been that way for quite a while. I think it gets incited a little bit, the months leading up and all the stories on, Beth Page out on Long Island, the New Yorkers are going to do this and do, well, they did. I mean, it shouldn't have been a real surprise to anybody.
No.
They did get a little bit personal, which there's no room for personal in it. I mean, you can root and you can holler and you can dislike, you can like, whatever, but don't get personal. That's my problem is don't, when I played over at the Belfry in '93, and I had my whole family over there and friends, and they walked around, but they weren't getting abused.
Right.
They can root against you. Hey, I'm fine with that. Hey, I played football and basketball in high school, and we went into some pretty tough areas to play away. and we loved it. We relished on that. We wanted to beat them in their home gym or on their home field. We wanted to do that. So I get that, and you can get booed. I'm okay with that too, but don't get personal with it. And I think that's the only issue I had was it started to get personal, and then the players got back into it, and the behavior on all sides was just a little bit questionable. So I know when they go to Adair Manor in a couple years, JP McManus will not have any of that. He is a first-class, 100% upstanding human being. And if that happens on his property, I promise you there's going to be some issues with those people that start to incite that.
John, you just secured 5-star accommodations there, I think.
I hope I get on that crew. I was a little miffed that I wasn't on any part of that crew, but I've known JP a long time. He's very, very proud of what he has there at Adair Manor. Hey, if I get on that crew, that'd be awfully nice.
Yeah, that'd be epic. But it definitely a lot of lines were crossed, with spouses and horrible comments thrown at the Euros.
No place for that.
It was
no place.
One thing to be loud and boisterous, and we expected it in New York with that crowd. Sure. But it crossed the line of sportsmanship.
I believe so too. I agree.
Right. So, next time it's hosted on U.S. soil, I'm sure there will be some more security in place to remove those offenders. Right. And, you can learn from Augusta, right? It's in their manual on how you're supposed to cheer. And if there's any of that, mashed potato stuff, you're out.
You're out. Right. Exactly.
But I think it was a great cup altogether. If we're just going to look at it in general, I think the U.S. team just got beat. I think they weren't as prepared as the American team. Now we could kind of slice it up like most analysts do and talk about all the details on why it didn't work. I think there was good cohesion in the team. I think Keegan Bradley did do an amazing job. It was a dramatic Sunday back nine comeback. I've never seen anything like it. Can you imagine 8.5 points on that day is unimaginable.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And there was one point at one point with Henley, if he made the putt, there was a chance that they were going to win all the matches. And that might have just turned the momentum, just shifted over ever so slightly.
Yeah, just watching that, it was so interesting. And we were in Hawaii for a little bit of the Ryder Cup, visiting our son, who's working over there, and we were watching a little bit of it. And by the time we got back and we got to Sunday and saw what was going on Friday early, which was, I agree with you. It didn't seem like, and good analysts tell you what should happen, what could happen, and what should not happen. And it's easy to, kind of be the Monday morning guy and say, well, this should have happened. You can't say should have. But I agree with you. I don't think the U.S. team was quite as prepared to play on that particular golf course in those particular conditions. So that to me was maybe a mistake. Maybe the setup I thought should be more of a major championship type setup, high rough, firm conditions. Who excels in major championships? Well, U.S. players do, because they're prepared for those very difficult conditions. When you get golf course conditions to where you can take advantage of everything, that's when the Europeans are at their best. And they just seem to answer every good shot with a better shot of their own, every putt with a putt of their own. They pitched in a lot, and they were prepared to play on that particular golf course in those particular conditions.
Well, if you're just joining us, we're with John Cook. We now have Jay Delsing on the Golf Podcast Live. Jay, welcome to the show. We're just doing a little bit of Ryder Cup talk, as I see that you're on with us right now. Hopefully you could hear us nice and clear. Jay, are you there? Oh, I might not have his audio on.
I see Jay. I know Jay.
Jay, are you there?
Met each other before, haven't you?
Oh yeah. Yes, we have.
All right, so let's maybe message Jay here for a moment. I don't think he knows we're on. We're just gonna click him off for a moment. Um, but certainly, that dramatic Sunday finish was incredible. Looking at standout performances, the European team obviously had John Rahm, undefeated
All
in
of them.
foursomes,
You just say
right?
all of them.
Tommy Fleetwood, Shane Lowry, Tyrrell Hatton. Um, on the American side, if you were captain and you had the opportunity to bring in players, would your choices be slightly different? Is there any reason why you would not pick somebody that was picked right now? I know this might be a controversial answer, but after the fact, I mean, I think we could certainly talk about that.
I think I'm not sure on who I would have left off or who I would have chosen, but my whole contention since I'm the son of a football coach and I'm a son of a, basketball coach. And, I understand coaching and being captains. I've always thought that you need to have a complement to some of your players. Not everybody can be the pitcher. Not everybody can be the shortstop or center fielder or the quarterback. You have to have complementary players. And I think we get caught in those foursome matches with two of the same players,
right?
Not somebody that complements who that powerful guy might be. Tiger's, record in foursomes is not very good. Scotty Scheffler's obviously is not very good, but that just means they're not going to play horrible. Their partners need to play better, and they need to complement these great players. And so I would pair more of a complement than the same guy. And I think that maybe going forward, maybe they can use that model. Obviously, they go by data analysis and all this and all that. And I never saw a spreadsheet hit a golf shot in my life. So I would go with, what do you players think? Who do you really, you should just be able to throw 12 hats in the ring and pair anybody up with anybody. That's how good these players are. Yeah. I think they get so involved in the perfect pairing that they forget about this is golf. And golf is golf.
How about the preparation, John? The preparation was not as precise and as often as the European team put into that golf course in particular.
Oh, I agree. I agree with that. Yeah, they were prepared to play on that particular golf course in that particular setup. The U.S. wasn't. U.S. is used to tough conditions. Those were the easiest conditions. They might as well have been playing the Bob Hope Classic, honestly.
That's right. That's right. Well, we're trying to get Jay on here. He's with us right now. However,
I'm not sure he can hear us. Jay, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta love live technology.
Let's all wave. Let's all wave to him. Jay.
There's Jay.
Your audio.
I don't have no audio.
Oh, there you are.
Hearing you.
Oh, we can hear you now. Can you hear us?
Hear you.
Oh, you can't hear us? We could hear you. We could hear you. So let's see. Well, Mike, while you work on that, I'm going to finish off with this, John. Moving forward, are you still going to be with us with NBC and the Golf Channel moving forward for the new season? Do you have a schedule planned out, or how does the rest of your season look as well?
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting for that right now. I think with the Ryder Cup just ending, I think those powers that be are now back in Connecticut and probably going through schedules and who's available, whose contracts are up. I'm definitely going to do the PGA Tour Champions schedule next year, most all of those, trying to fit the other ones in. If I'm welcome back, I'll have to wait and see. I love doing what I'm doing. I love doing the college stuff, the USAM. Those are pretty much, my roles with NBC and Golf Channel. And then the Champs Tour I do, with PGA Tour Entertainment. So we should be finding out here pretty soon. Hopefully I'll have a nice schedule next year. I'm trying to cut down a little bit. Yeah. But like I said, I love this. I love announcing. I love talking golf to golf people and not just, trying to be perfect. but just talking like we were in the grill room, talking like we're in the locker room, talking like we're out playing golf. I mean, it's, I'm a golfer. I'm not a journalist. I can promise you that. But I love what I'm doing, so I hope to do it for quite a few more years.
We hope to see you out there. And Jay, can you hear? Are you with us now?
I am. I'm happy.
There he is.
Oh, all right.
Nice to see you.
You know John Cook, don't you?
My old friend
Very
JD.
How you doing, buddy?
It's been a while, but yeah. Oh gosh, we go way back. We go to college. We go back to college. The mighty Bruins.
Oh,
But let me ask you, John.
What a college team it was.
I bet.
At UCLA. I just finished reading your book, Jay. Gone through all the chapters. Fantastic, John. If you're gonna have a nice, fun read,
It's great.
Really
But
gonna
John,
recommend Jay's new book. You wouldn't
Put
believe.
it right back here in my bookcase, right here.
There you go. And John, have you ever had Arnold Palmer tell you to take your hat off and give you a shit in the clubhouse like Jay had?
No, I learned early on. Ken Venturi was my guy, and I wore shorts around him one time in the 50 years that we were around each other. And it never happened again. So no hat on and no hat backwards, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, the king dressed me down, John, at the player dining at Bay Hill one year, and he grabbed me over here like the nuns used to grab me when I was in trouble, and I was terrified, man. And you know what his hands were like. It was not,
Vice grips.
Yeah. Really.
Well, I thought Jay is pretty ballsy to grab his name tag and then sport around the event there. I think that's a great.
That was a bit alcohol induced, I have to say. But,
yeah.
John, I got to play with him 3 days in a row at Bay Hill in the shootout group there.
Oh yeah.
When he invited me to this cocktail party the third night, and we had a couple before, and we walk into this beautiful home, and there's name tags all along the thing, and his is there. So I just grabbed mine and put it in my pocket, and I took his and put it on, and I just kind of stood over in the corner waiting for him. It wasn't for anybody else. It was for him, because he looked right at me when he came in. He's like, well, what are you doing? And I said, well, after spending 3 days with you, I just wanted to go to a cocktail party as you.
That's so good.
It had to be fun. And I took it right off, and, he had a really great sense of humor. It was really, really fun that way.
Oh yeah.
He treated me so well.
Good man.
Let's remind our audience who your UCLA teammates were, Jay.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and try to remember myself, Ralph. My memory. No, it was Corey Pavin, Steve Pate, Duffy Waldorf, Tom Pernice, and I played on the same team.
Wow.
Scott McCarron was there as a freshman my last year, but he wasn't in the top. Wasn't in the top 6 or 8, and Brant Jobe came in the year after we left. There was a nice pipeline of players for UCLA for a while back then.
Wow.
Yeah, we just loved to play and compete, and we were kind of from all over. A couple of guys from California, but Pernice was from Kansas City. I'm from back here in the Midwest, and we had some other guys from around the country, and just. We had a great program, got to play terrific golf courses. And guys, we had John Wooden come talk to our golf team every single
Amazing.
Every
Unbelievable.
I mean, it was, we'd sit on the floor of the golf shop there at Bel Air, and Eddie Merrins is walking around in a tie, and I'm kind of going like, what's our golf pro doing wearing a tie? All the golf pros I knew were golf pros, so they didn't have to wear ties. We didn't want to wear a tie, but Eddie was just that Southern gentleman like that. And we'd sit there and listen to John Wooden talk to us about processes and things like that we had no clue about, I think I was 18 the first time I heard him speak, and I'm like, put on my socks, 1 foot at a time. I mean, that's kind of how I do. I just didn't get what he was trying to say. Most of us didn't, but he stayed on it. It was really, really interesting.
Well, we're going to continue talking about your book. About these stories and about your game as well. John, thanks for joining us. It's been a pleasure once again. Good luck with NBC. Good luck with the Golf Channel. You did a fantastic job. Again, loving the interviews. That Gainey interview was right on point, catching the essence of who that gentleman is. And looking forward to talking to you soon.
I appreciate it. I've learned a lot. I work with great pros. I've learned so much from these great announcers and these great hosts and analysts, and I'm very blessed, and I appreciate it. Anytime, you guys. I've always enjoyed talking to y'all.
You're
Thanks.
doing great, John, and it is not easy. It is, you know the game, but that whole how to do it, it's just a great lesson.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've learned from the best.
Yeah, good fun.
Excellent. No,
Awesome.
looking forward to watching you. Keep it up, John.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Take care.
You bet.
Good seeing
Awesome.
you, Jay. Thanks.
You too, bud. I'll be in
Okay,
touch with you.
All right.
Wow.
How we doing, boys?
We're doing great.
Great.
We're doing great. I got a real kick out of your book because I did read some of it 2 months back, but now I finally got through it, and I wish I did sooner because I had some good laughs. You're talking about the UCLA team, and David Farady's introduction is just classic. You know, him
How
saying,
about that, right?
I happen to know all those guys, and they're all idiots. That's what
Exactly. He knew every one of us and said all of us are idiots. And I'm like, well, it takes one to know one. So come on, let's go.
Yeah, to be clear, I just read a few chapters, and it's great. I'm going to get through it. I love that they're short and quick hits, and it's just the way I like to read. And so I definitely jumped into your Vegas chapter because I spent 8 days in Vegas about 19 years ago for a friend's wedding and stag week, and I never want to go back to that bloody city because
Mike, that is forever. That is forever in Vegas.
Yeah. So, and it's every time I mention that to people, they're like, "What?" You know. And we were out every night, drinking till the morning. And
okay, you guys are killing me. My boy's going out to Vegas for an event. He's in gaming, and he's going out to his first time to Vegas. He's 19 in a couple of weeks. So you're making me nervous.
Yeah, for good cause, Raf. For good cause.
Maybe he's going to become a man, Raf. He'll tell you that.
But some of the great stories, Jay, Scott Hoke, I should say, at the Canadian Open, over at the Glen Abbey. Maybe you could just give us a little bit of detail on how that transpired. I personally love the story because anybody who calls another golfer a cheater for any reason, whether it's a member tournament or a professional tournament, you're going to see a golfer who respects the game lose it. I've seen Mike lose it completely. Mike's seen me lose it with people, and rightfully so.
I've never been called a cheater, but I've lost it on the golf course.
I was younger. Well, I've probably been called a little bit of everything, but I mean, you know, let's be clear. All of us can accidentally break a rule.
Yeah.
That's not cheating.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, all of us can do something wrong. The rules of golf are they're so difficult to understand. It's so hard to you know, even transcribe what they're trying to tell you to do or to not to do. But
it's legal
this is
jargon.
not the case. I mean, we're playing the ninth hole. I'm playing with Neil Lancaster and Scott Hoke, which is a really tough draw. It's a tough draw because those guys I like Neil, but he's a little bit out there, and Scott Hoke's just difficult. And we're going down the ninth hole at Glen Abbey. It was one of the top par fours on the PGA Tour back in the day. So it's probably 460 yards long, and both Neil and I were long, and we had hit it kind of through the fairway on the right. Now, for anybody that's been to Glen Abbey, they'll know the ninth hole has water in front of it.
That's right.
It encompasses the entire right side of the green. The flag sticks in the back right part of the green. And if you're not in the fairway, you're not getting on this green. Back in the day, the Canadian Open, you guys, was like the fifth major. You got to remember, it was the only championship that Jack Nicklaus never won.
That's right. And six-time runner-up.
And guys, Jack was playing up there still. I mean,
I live 10 minutes away from the Abbey, so.
And he designed the golf course, didn't he?
Places. Just love it. But anyway, Neil and I hit our balls in the high rough, and it's heavy rough. And as we're getting close to these two balls, they happen to just be a couple inches apart, 6-8 inches apart. One ball is sitting high and buried nicely, and the other is buried in the muff. And I knew which one was mine. It was just kind of one of those things. And we got up there, and Neil's ball was sitting nicely. And I said, Neil, I'm just going to make sure this is my ball. He's standing right there. Mark the ball, look at it, see my mark, put it back. I take my 60-degree wedge, chip it out straight sideways, hit it about 15 feet into the fairway. Neil hits it on the green. Scott's over there on the left jacking around. I don't know what he's doing. So I hit my ball on the green, miss my putt. I make my bogey, off we go. We're walking off. We've hit our tee shots on the 10th hole. It's a nice little par 4, narrow with some fairway bunkers on the right. And, guys, when you're playing and you play as much as we all have, there's a sense about the group, and you just get personalities come through, pace of play, all sorts of things. And there's just something off now as we're walking down 10. So I walked over to Neil and I said, "What's happening?" And he goes, "Oh, Scott thinks you cheated." And I said, "Oh, what did I do?" Knowing Scott, who's not very great at, expressing himself, maybe I did something wrong. And he said, he says that you moved your ball in the rough on the last hole. I said, "Neil, I chipped my ball out 15 feet. And he goes, and I said, "You were standing right there." And Neil said, "I know, I told him that." And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to let it go. This is dumb, whatever. I got to play, it's not like you can take. So we finished the first day, and I had so many really good tournaments up at Glen Abbey. I feel like I still can play there now. I love the golf course. But anyway, Neil was playing poorly. Scott didn't have a great day, but we were late that afternoon, and so we were going to turn around and play right again that morning. So we play 3 holes, and Neil quits. He's like, "I'm out. I'm getting on flight. I'm going home." So now it's Scott and I, and it's whatever. I'm playing well.
That alone always boggled my mind. If just taking off a tournament, walking off the golf course like that, because the opportunities are not that often, Ralph. Right?
I know. It's, but anyway, so I'm solidly in the top 10, 7th place finishing. At the time, I hit a drive on 18, but I leave it out to the right, and it gets in that fairway bunker. The same fairway bunker, by the way, for folks that love golf, where Tiger Woods hit that remarkable shot in 2002 with Grant Waite, hit it over the – well, yeah, I wasn't doing that. Anyway, as we walk off the tee, you guys, the heavens open up. It just starts raining. So by the time we get to the fairway, Mike, there are rivers running down the fairway. By the time we get to where our ball is, play's been suspended. And it's one of those gully washers that you can't see down the fairway.
Mm-hmm.
There's some lights in the distance, some glows and things like that, but play's suspended. So when you're in a fairway bunker, you've really got to do a very precise job of knowing where your ball is, because if you stick a tee in the ground, they're going to come in with a rake and rake right over that tee. So what we do is we take 2 tees, stick it almost underneath the surface, but then we cross-reference those points with yardages and everything and where it is in the bunker and things like that. So I'm doing it. My caddy's well-versed in it, and we get this thing just right. Pick up my ball, put it in my pocket. I'm holding my umbrella. I've got still my gear on. There's Scott Hoke, his caddy, me and my caddy, a scorer, and a little young standard bearer. And now we're out in the 18th fairway. And as I'm walking, you got to know, guys, when it's pouring down rain, you got that tour umbrella hung low over your head, and you're trying to keep as much dry as you can. Well, so from out of nowhere, Scott comes running across the fairway and says, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're cheating again." And so now I look up and I'm ready to see white. I'm like, so I go straight towards him, ditch his umbrella, grab him by the scruff of the neck, and pull him inside of my umbrella. And like, we have words. And he is adamant that he is right. And so, guys, this is not Sunday morning church talk. This is pretty
That's
descriptive.
Right.
So I realize, we've got this child over here. She's not hearing this, thank God. Plus the rain helps when you have this umbrella. But this older woman is there, and I said, "Ma'am, I need you to call an official for me, please." Scott at that time says, I'm going in. And I said, you're not going anywhere. So grown men, 2 under an umbrella, and we're in there pretty tight because I've got him by the collar of his.
Yeah.
She looks at me and I said, I need an official. So as luck would have it, or no luck would have it, if it's a regular PGA Tour official, he's going to know us, Scott and I. But because we're in Toronto, we get to see PGA also. So those guys are refereeing half of the golf course as well. It just so happens we get to see PGA official, and I don't know him, And so he comes up, and the rest of the golf course by now is clear. I mean, it is lightning thunder. Right. It is a terrible situation. And we are standing out in probably 2 inches of water. And this official drives up, and he can't for the life of him figure out what's going on. And I said, sir, he kind of comes in to us, and I said, sir, will you please tell this? And I had a few choice words for him, my description of Scott Hope, that I am well within the rules of the game and my right as a competitor to mark my ball through the green during suspension. And he says, of course you are. And I said, great. And he's like looking for the punchline. And I'm looking at him like, you got to go. And he's like, I said, thank you. Can you please leave? And that's where, I let Scott Hook have it. And I am a mild-mannered guy. I have a long fuse. I haven't been in a fist fight since I've been in probably 3rd grade. But when somebody accuses you guys, as you know, Raf, you said it beautifully. You can call me anything. Our families are off limits when guys are giving you the needle and all that stuff, and you take whatever. But when someone questions your integrity like that, and this is where you're hoping to make your career and your profession, you got to stick up for yourself. And so the interesting way this thing wraps up, Mike, is that Scott goes his own way, and I let my caddy go, and I'm at a 12. My heart rate is running. And so I run up in the upper parts of Glen Abbey. I love that Glen Abbey clubhouse. The food was spectacular. The hospitality that
still
the Canadians
is
showed for us was wonderful. So I grab something like probably a plate of those delicious oatmeal Canadian Open cookies that I still have the recipe for, and just grab some water, went in the corner, and it was just going to die down. I wanted to have a beer, but I was too fired up. And I'm just sitting there minding my own business in the corner, and someone comes up to the table. I look up, and it's Scott's dad. And he says to me, I'm really sorry about what happened out there. I've told him forever. He just needs to learn to keep his mouth shut. And I still wasn't like, it's okay, because it's not okay. But I was like, thank you, whatever.
Well, Jay, I've got to say something. I mean, you're a guy who's played 565 times on the PGA Tour, right? Everybody's only says good things about you. You look at the foreword in the book from Jack Nicklaus, or David Faraday was joking around, but he's talking about he had a time say, so he had to make some stuff up. From Bob Costas to Arnold Palmer, it's just fantastic. And what you've done for me, because I came into a very difficult time myself, being in the business for so many years as a golf teaching professional, and made a lot of bad choices in life. And, you came through and reached out to me, and that'll forever, go far in my mind, because we're acquaintances, we're really not friends. So I certainly, I appreciate you, and I want you to know that everyone thinks highly of you, and you've done such a great job, from everything, what you did with Jack Nicklaus and Play Yellow, right? And it's just outstanding.
Well, Raf, your kind words are really appreciated, but we are friends. We both love the game. Mike, I feel the same way about you. And you know what? We all need help sometimes. Things happen in life. You don't know if a decision's going to go sideways until you make it. And I've made plenty too, So the older I get, the less I want to judge, the more I want to try to be kind and grateful, because I love listening to Cookie. That's me. I mean, I loved what I got to do. we talk about this all the time on my show. I got to 52nd in the world, which is as a kid, and you want to try to get to number one, 50 seconds, not very good. But as I look back at it, and I'm 65 years old, and I'm like,
pretty damn great.
But it is. And you know, I try to tell these kids, you know, guys, aim for the top. You might get there, which would be incredible. But guess what? Not very many people do.
No.
But the amount of things that you can achieve and the people that you can meet, the experiences that you can have and things like that, as you go into that journey, that's what it's about. It's not really about being number one. I wouldn't want Tiger Woods' life. Forget it. He would probably never say this, but he would love to have my life.
Yeah. If you look at Tiger, and like the first time that I got real close to Tiger was at the 2007 President's Cup with Raf and I were both there, and first time I ever had a media pass, and we walked, you know, shoulder to shoulder with him and Stevie, and the people were going bananas for them. And I remember coming off at 18, and we're right there with the group, and we're in Montreal, so all you hear is the French, "Hey, Tiger," you know, and there were like 4 cops, you know, trying to like keep people away from him. They were like, it was annoying me, and I was standing, you know, 20 feet back, and I'm like, this is what he does everywhere he goes.
It was like a Stanley Cup playoffs game, especially on Sunday when he played with Weir. I was going from 17 to 18. I couldn't get through the crowd. I mean, it was just so crazy.
Yeah.
He can't go anywhere. He can't just go down to Walmart and pick up a few things and like, you know, he's like, you know, probably gets it all delivered now. So but he's had some experiences that many of us haven't had, like, you know, flicking your high beams outside of a restaurant for a happy ending. You know, there's some things that Tiger's lived in, like some stories. I'd love to have some beers with him and a non-disclosure and just hear some real stories. I'm sure he's got some good ones.
You know? Oh gosh, guys, I couldn't even imagine it. I mean, that's what happens with all the greats, you know, Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, you know, when you get under when you accomplish what they've accomplished in their career, and then you throw them into the societal pool, you know, where society is left to their own devices, anything can happen, you know. It's
I think that's why you wrote the book, Jay. I mean, you wouldn't believe me if I told you is a perfect title. Make sure you guys pick it up. We're with Jay Delsing. There's some great stories there, from Sean Connery to Hale Irwin is one of my all-time favorite stories there with Johnny Miller over at Bay Hill. Pretty great.
My fourth tournament in my career. On Sunday, I get paired with Johnny and Hale.
Oh boy. Yeah. And Hale's no picnic, right? He really gave you the stink eye, right?
I made about an 80-foot putt. That's when, back in the day, Bay Hill's number one was a par 5. I somehow managed to slop in some 80-foot putt for eagle, and Hale was absolutely infuriated by that.
Or you're the new kid on the block, and you're playing with a guy who's quite accomplished, right? And But you can't say rightfully so, because not everyone acts that way. Most everybody would treat a newbie a little bit differently.
You know, guys, it's interesting. No one really, it wasn't that they rooted against you, but it wasn't like there was a welcoming party either. Yeah, you know what I mean? And so the part of the story that's really interesting there, Raf, is how his caddy thought he was better than me and was not giving me the room that I needed to play, and it was also.
Is this the guy who stepped on your line?
Yeah. When you mark your ball and you're behind your ball looking at putt, you never walk between the ball and the player ever.
Yeah.
It's be like walking on the pitcher's mound. You know, you don't ever cross the pitcher's mound as you're making your out and getting back into the dugout. And there's hockey criteria too that is respected. You know, and so it was interesting, but I knew that wasn't unusual, that sort of treatment, and I was ready for it, and I knew I had to stand my ground. And so I said to Hale's caddy, I said, if you don't give me room, I might not be able to make one putt with this putter, but I will hit you on the head with it. And he looked at me like, what are you talking about? I said, you know damn good and well what I'm talking about. And guess what? The rest of the day, everything was fine.
Oh yeah, especially and make sure you pick up the book because you explain what happens to him on 18 when he put 2 in the water, and you managed to get up on the green. You're out driving him as well, so that's not great. You know, you were a long hitter back in the day.
Raf, I just after I hit my ball in the hazard on number 3 at Bay Hill, and I turned to my caddy, and Hale's face is right there to remind me that my ball didn't cross the hazard, and I have to redrop and hit from here. And I said to him, I know what the rules are, and I don't need you to tell me what to do. I was pissed.
Yeah.
I'm also 20. Shoot, I think I'm 23 at the time. I mean, I don't know what shoes go with what pants, you know, I'm wearing. But all I wanted to do was take Hale down. And Johnny was like this. I mean, he gave me the oyster handshake. You know, he's got the collar popped, his pants are high, and I'm like, this is the oddest group, man. Johnny picked his ball up 3 times on the front 9 to take drops. And I was like, you're not supposed to do that, are you? You know, but he was Johnny Miller, and he was, and I'm not saying he did. You're supposed to bring your competitor or an official over just to verify it. But I mean, guys, we were not in the tournament per se. We all made the cut, but we were making, you know, we weren't probably going to make $1,000 no matter what.
Right. But I think that's what you get for last place on the Champions Tour right now, even if you shoot 15 over, right?
Yeah. So it was something, but all of those experiences, like getting to play with the presidents of the United States, things like that, Mike, it's remember when you were a kid and you were in, I don't know, maybe kindergarten or the first grade, and you'd have these 4 or 5 objects and you had to pick out the thing that didn't belong. You know, you get like a chair and a sofa and a TV table and a giraffe I'm the giraffe in all these stories, you know, because I'm like, what am I doing here? The Sean Connery story, as I'm spending my 2nd week in Los Angeles, just, you know, took me out. It took me out. And then he introduces me to Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, and I only know them as Steve and George, you know, and there's no movies. They haven't put any product out yet. Yeah. In 1979, at least that I was aware of. So I was like, I'm hanging with Sean Connery. I don't care about Steven Spielberg and George Lucas. I get to go have a beer at the men's grill, and I'm only 18. This is pretty cool.
Hey, Mike, why don't you throw out the next question here? Blue Jays Ryder Cup Champions Tour. Go ahead.
Oh, I love it.
Well, first I'd say, like, good on you. It's a young 20-year-old Jay to stand up and tell him to get the hell off your line and all of that, because it's probably very intimidating. So be easy as a kid just to swallow that, but standing.
It's one thing to have the players and try to big time you, but the caddies.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a caddy. I grew up in this game as a caddy, so I still see myself as a caddy.
Yeah. No, they know better.
I mean, that's not happening.
So, and like when we got Blue Jays coming in, to be honest, I haven't watched much baseball at all this year, but now that the playoffs are here, I'll probably start to tune in.
Yeah, I was working this weekend over at the practice facility. I work out here in Oakville, and it was empty because, you know, you had most of Toronto watching the game, or you had 44,000 fans at the game.
Yeah,
it was incredible. Savage is just what an arm on him. The kid, if it wasn't for his elbow or wrist, or he was icing it, I think they would have finished off with a no hitter or 15-0 or something, because they were at 12-0 at one point.
It was unbelievable. And guys, Tuesday for you, my friends from the Great White North, the real world begins in the NHL season. I can't wait for that. I am a massive hockey fan. I can't wait.
Yeah, no, 100%. No, hockey, that's our game up here. So it's baseball. There's so many games. It's really hard just to tune in. So, you know, if our Jays are doing well, I'll tune in the playoffs. And I miss our Expos. I was born in Montreal, so I used to go to the Expos games as a kid. And
my hometown as well. You know, him and I always talk about. We didn't know each other back then, but I mean, that was a field trip twice a year when you were in school. We'd go to an Expos game at the Olympic Stadium.
I saw a game in Expo Stadium when I played up in Royal Montreal. I had a thing, guys, when I first got on the tour that I wanted to go see all of the ballparks and all of the cool old forums and stuff. So I didn't get to see a hockey game in the old Montreal Forum, but I got to see Maple Leafs Garden and Boston Garden and the Saddle Dome, and I've never actually been to Edmonton, so I didn't get to see anything there.
Yeah,
but
you're not missing much.
I loved all that stuff. I have heard that from
the forum was incredible for sound for concerts as well as hockey games. The seating was so steep. They packed 17,000 people in one small city block, right? So it went straight up. So you felt like you were sitting on someone's head. But the sound and the visuals, it didn't matter where you were sitting. It was a great spot.
I saw tons of games in that in the forum, and we used to go down to the locker room in between periods because my mom's second husband at that time would bring us down. He knew a lot of the guys, so Guy Lafleur would be smoking cigarettes outside in between periods, and Larry Robinson, they'd all be hanging out. So I go as a little guy, I'd go down there and get to meet all these players, and it was really cool. It's just unheard of nowadays, right?
What's unheard of is Guy Lafleur jumping onto the ice from the bench in between smoke breaks. Right, just smoking. He had smoke coming out his nose. He had his long hair. He used to come out when I was assistant at Royal Montreal Golf Club. He was always in the lounge smoking, drinking, having a soup and a smoke. And there was no smoking in the lounge, but they just let him smoke, right?
It's Guy Lafleur.
Guy Lafleur, man. What are you gonna do? Guys, I saw the World Cup of Hockey at Maple Leaf. Is it Maple Leaf Center? What do they call it? Maple
Leaf back then, yeah.
Eric Lindros came out for the first time, and I had never seen anyone so big on the ice. I was watching that. It was what was it? U.S. and Canada and like Sweden and the four teams,
right.
And it was so that it just happened to be when the Canadian Open was in the tail end of the in the September timeframe, and we were watching hockey. It was awesome, and I was blown away, just like you said, Raf, of how steep those seats were.
Right.
They'd almost go vertical.
Yeah.
It got so steep, but what a cool old building. And people would get yelling and everything would shake. And oh my God.
It's sad now. Both of those buildings are now malls and shopping centers with grocery stores.
Yeah. I've been to the ACC Center. It's like a hospital. None. You know what's happened, you guys? None of the true hockey fans can afford the tickets over there.
That's true.
Stupid expensive.
It's too much, right? And it's to take a family of four, even just two, you can be $1,000 on a night.
Okay, this is a good segue. This is a good segue, guys, because I'm going to talk Ryder Cup, and we haven't talked on pricing, and I am boiling over the fact that it costs $750 US to attend a Ryder Cup event. You think of a blue collar family of four. Can't afford to go one day, and their excuse is, well, you can go to practice rounds. Well, thanks for the crumbs, and it's $255 US to go to a practice round. No, thank you. Your thoughts, Jay?
Oh, guys, I mean, look, this is the kind of crap that gives golf that rich kid sport.
Yeah.
It's not. You can get your kids a set of clubs and a bag and the entire thing for under $100. And they can go walk onto a Muni, and if they talk to the pro, he'll make sure that they have a place to play every damn day, and he'll probably put his ass to work, which is a good thing. So this sort of thing, and I got to tell you, I can't stand what I saw up there. I mean, first of all, we'll talk. We could run 15 segments on this, you guys, but just first of all, the pricing was stupid.
Yeah. Even for a beer.
It was, I mean, who can afford that? And second of all, the fan behavior, completely unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. I don't not disrespect any of the other sports, but they're allowed to be rowdy while the play is going on. That is just not who we are. And I'm not saying that is who we are as Americans. We are that.
Mike, Jay, there's been a shift in the game, right? You could go to any PGA Tour event right now. I'll use the Canadian Open as an example. I remember going to St. George's a couple of years, and I could not believe the things the kids in the crowds were saying, the things that they were yelling. I'm walking inside the ropes, and I feel like an old man who just wants to tell everybody to shut up.
Right.
You know, these players are within arm's reach. They could hear you. They're there. They're blocking you out, but that it's ridiculous what comes out of their mouths.
I don't, and I ask my kids this all the time because, you know, I'm an old man, but why is everybody so pissed?
Yeah.
And what are they so pissed about? I mean, it's like, I know social media has probably caused a lot of stuff because it gives you a platform to just be an asshole and have no accountability, and you hide behind some other name and la, 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 and then you put on your home run day where you're on vacation and it acts like you live like that your whole life, which we all know is a load of crap. Yeah. I just don't get it. But I want to ask you guys something. As competitors, you're playing in this tournament, and I'll say this going on because I've written a note to Rory and to Luke and to Shane and apologizing for that because they handled it like true gentlemen, right? And I'm a huge Justin Rose fan as well because I know what kind of man he is. But what he did on the 15th hole so this is the second match of the day. Everything is going the Euros way. Everything.
Yep.
Justin Rose could just swing his putter this way and the ball's going to find the back of the cup, right?
Yeah.
And my take on, unless I'm told differently, was very innocent. I watched it. It looks very innocent where you're wondering whose play it is. And the way that he if I'm Bryson DeChambeau and my team is absolutely getting our ass handed to us, I'm going to make a bigger deal out of that. That's the only chance in my mind that I have a chance to rile my boys up because everybody's dead on my side. Listen, it's the heat of the moment, and Justin could say, "Oh, I could have said it more politely." I don't give a damn how you say it. You're talking to my caddy that way. We're not having that. We're not having that. And I'm using it, and I'm not even saying I'm right about that, guys. I wasn't there, so I'm totally making it up. Yeah. And someone could say to me, but here's the other thing that I want you guys to know. I've had Ted Scott on my show 4 times. Ted Scott is about 3 degrees less than Milky Toast. Okay? Right. He is. And to have him that pissed off, something wasn't right. I'm really glad they were able to right the ship, but
well, there's a little bit of hypocrisy going on with Rory. I've never liked him as a person. I might have been different if I know him personally, but I don't. But from what I see from the outside in, not a fan. You know, him holding the fans accountable, rightfully so, but for him to show his middle finger to the crowd when he's making putts is not conducive to what he's expecting from the crowd. That's one. You know, and I don't think the U.S. team was prepared as the Europeans were.
Oh, I know for sure
they didn't practice enough. They didn't putt enough.
The Euros were playing the golf course for 2 weeks, right, before the tournament started. So that's better than beating balls on the range and fine-tuning short game, getting out there on the course, learning the greens and all of that.
Guys, we didn't use the data. Colin Morikawa and Harrison English, if you do the permutations, they were the worst combination of pairing that you could put 2 U.S. players to get and have the lowest percentage chance of winning. Now, guys, I'm a Keegan Bradley guy. And if he says he wants to run them out there for a session, hell yeah. Look, those are capable players, okay? Whatever the data says, I'm willing to throw it out the window once. But not twice.
Yeah.
I mean, holy smokes. When he came out the second time, I thought, look, you can be a gut guy and go, hey, these are my guys, and I'm putting them up against their number one group, and we're gonna have at it. Okay, fine. That the second time doesn't make any sense to me. And guys, the other thing that tells me we didn't use the data to our advantage was we didn't even know what holes Russell Henley was supposed to hit off of.
Oh,
the first match with Scotty Scheffler. I mean, Raf, what the hell?
Well, let's go back, take one step back, and talk about course setup. I mean, you don't shave everything down. This is supposed to be a difficult test. You take the advantage on the distance that some of the boys have. You take advantage on the things that the Americans are really good at, and the short game. I mean, that's where you want to excel with all these boys. They're very much more individuals, and we saw that on the back nine. Probably the best back nine that I've seen in my life. The Americans had a chance to actually win the thing if Henley actually made the putt, but we can't blame him. Right? Obviously, the kid's got to carry that for the rest of his life, but it's not just about making more putts, right?
No.
And that back nine just goes to show you they're not in a team mentality. They're individuals still. And
No question.
Yeah.
There's
Guys,
there's glue missing here.
The Euros turn pro, generally speaking, much earlier than us. Now, what's happening now with you got a guy like Ludwig who went to Texas Tech. He did it more like an American. But Rory turned pro when he was like 16. Shane Lowry turned. Faraday tells me he turned pro with a 5 handicap and he was 15 years old.
I love that.
But guys, when you play the DP World Tour, you're sequestered in a part of a country with this tour that's almost like a traveling band of high school friends or gypsies or whatever, because there's not that many hotels. You come over here, there's all these different hotel options.
Yeah.
We're able to leave. When I was playing all the time, I was able to leave this tournament in Glen Abbey, come to my home, be a dad for 2 nights, and then go back and still play the tournament week. That's one of the benefits of what the U.S. is.
Yeah.
That is not what Europe is. Now,
Yeah.
the proximity of the countries is not that far apart, but the travel through country is not easy. And so these guys are hanging out and having dinner with each other all the time. We go to places and I may not see another tour player in a week because there's 15 different restaurants and things like that. But to your point, we got outplayed, we got out-prepped, and that's the one that gets me, guys. Anything happens once you drop the puck, right? But to be out-prepped, and that just means putting our guys in the best possible situation that they have to win. And then God bless how this thing works out. But here's another thing that you're going to see changed, I think. The envelope rule, which is such an obscure thing anyway, no one should be awarded a point. If you're not going to give it to this speaks about what this competition is supposed to be. Because when they decided back 100 years that we're having our 100th anniversary next year, when they decided to award both teams a point, this is a gentleman's game. This is gentleman. This is not a friggin' war.
Yeah.
It's turned into a war. But guys, if the Euros don't have that extra half point, I don't know.
It could have been different.
It could have been different.
It's crazy
that momentum change with Henley missing the putt would still be alive, right? Everything would have been different. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to forfeit, if anything, they should lose a half a point. That would make sense, right? But that begs us to ask the question: there should be a 13th player. Yes. There should, if sickness or injury arises during the event, then there should be a backup player. And that backup player probably has vice captain duties, but also prepares with the team.
It's a wonderful call. I would absolutely sign off on that. I mean, it's the oddest rule, and it played to our favor when my buddy Steve Pate got hurt in the limo accident down in Kiowa, but it's just, nobody wants that thing to go like that. And then have a half point be so critical.
The match should be played. There's not enough points to just be allocating a half point. There should be a match played. And Raf, I think you're right, having one of the vice captains on the crew for both sides, and they can jump into battle and fulfill the missing player. It's not right.
What they did, you guys, because of the friendliness of the intent of this thing 100 years ago, that's why the team with the injured player didn't forfeit a point.
Yeah.
But I mean, where else are you not going to forfeit a point? I mean, you show up at a hockey game and your center's out, I mean, come on.
Yeah,
You
and that's
obviously
where in hockey they'll pull up a center from the farm team,
yeah.
right? And it creates
Right.
opportunity for one of these the farm team players. So
But I guess in tennis, you know, if I'm playing you guys and I come up lame, I lose. I don't get it. You know, it just doesn't make sense.
Jay, I just want to say thanks for joining us again. We could sit here all day and go through
Sorry,
these
I burned
stories.
through some of your tape here.
no, all right, no, that's good. No,
Oh, no, it's all good. Hopefully, we could maybe get together sometime soon in the new year. We're planning on making some content and traveling as well. So looking forward to maybe doing that and getting together and maybe getting a few holes in, maybe just meeting up on the range or over a beer.
no, it's good.
That's the beauty about golf. I'm in on all those. Sound great to me.
Let's get 18.
Consider maybe the merchandise show in Orlando in January, because for golf lifers like us and nerds like us, that's like Christmas.
Yeah, we definitely want to get down there one of these years, so that even just to go hang out and watch, the festivities and.
Oh yeah, it's
yeah.
like nothing you've ever seen, guys. 1 million square feet of golf junk.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
mean, and I don't mean junk.
Yeah.
There's some junk, but it's awesome. It's really awesome.
Yeah, the Orlando Convention Center is huge.
Oh.
We're talking with Jay Delsing. The book is You Wouldn't Believe Me If I Told You. Make sure you pick up a copy. Fantastic chapters in there. Everything about from your daughters playing over at Disney to guys like the boys that we talked about. Make sure you pick up a copy. Thanks for coming out once again, and maybe you'll come on soon again.
I'll only come when you ask me.
We appreciate it, Jay.
Hey, Mike, okay, Ralph, take care, guys. I appreciate you.
Love having
Have
you.
a great rest of the day.
Yeah, take care.
You too.
Bye.
See you, buddy.
Well, Mike, that was another great show. I mean, how can you get two better guys than John Cook and Jay Delsing to start off our season? Make sure you click and subscribe. I know it's one of those redundant things that you hear all the time, people saying, but it really helps us to move forward. We got lots of plans for the new season. Next week, we've got Gary Williams and Bob Harrig. So come and join us as we talk golf once again.
Excellent. Thanks for watching.